table again for a new DIY in this new year 2025. I'm so happy that you're here also. Of course, I wish you all an amazing coming new year, especially also a healthy new year, because it's always a great thing that you get your year through with health and of course with a lot of warmth and loving around you from your family and friends. So I wish you all the best. So we are going to use for this DIY the smaller tumbling towel blocks. I have here my container with everything inside. I think you already know what it will be inside. Some paint at your choice. I have here my old saucer with an old piece of kitchen towel which is wet to wipe away the glue. This is what we need for this DIY, and of course what we're going to make, we are going to make again, because I love mailboxing. So I'm going to make a Valentine mailbox, but again, a different one and with a twist. So we will see how this one turned out. I hope you join me. So you see already on the table are the first step for this little mailbox, because it will be a little small one you can place anywhere in your decor. And I'm going to do it for the Valentine season, but you can do it for any season. You can also do it for the Easter bunny, which is bringing some mail. So you can choose anything. So I have 2 rows of 3 like this. I have here 2 rows of 6 and 2 rows of 2 over here. So what we're going to do, this 2, we're going to do some glue on the tops, and we place it down over here, and we're going to glue them together like this, and this one, and we're going to squeeze them, and we're going to squeeze this one. And always when you are finished, always at the end give some squeeze. And of course what we're going to do, we're going to get our kitchen towel and we're going to wipe away the glue. Now we're going to go the 2 of 6. We do a little glue on the small line of the block on the side, and we just roll them very gently together. I don't know, my glue is running like crazy, because I don't know why, but he is really going very hard. And I'm already a big mess with some glue. So again, we are going to roll them together, press them from within to the outside, and at the ending you give it some extra pressure. And again, squeeze it from the inside to the outside and squeeze it. And again, we're going to get our towel. We're going to wipe away the top. And we go back and we look for if everything is straight. If you have a carpenter square, you don't have to do this, of course. Now we do the pieces of 2. So we do some glue on the smallest line of the block on the side. And this one. And we're also going to squeeze this one. And we're going to get our kitchen towel, wipe away the glue, and we do here the same. And then we're going to give it a couple of minutes rest. So we gave it a couple of minutes. What we're going to do, we're going to get the pieces of 2, we're going to turn it this way. We do some glue on the top side over here, and we're going to glue them together this way. We do here the same. We place this one straight up, place one on the side, and do some glue on the tops over here. And we're going to place it down, and we're going to make sure that we have a nice fitting. That's why we only wait a couple of minutes, so we can easily and gently squeeze all of them together until one piece, and like this. And then we don't have open gaps, and we give this also a couple of minutes. So now we're going to take this small piece, we place this down, and this one over here, this one a little in between, and now we're going to do some glue on this side, and we do it over here, a little glue. And what you also can do, I do it on this way, but you also can do some glue on this side, and you do it on this side, and on this side. Then you have the same, and you're going to place it down. Oh, you see already, he's not totally dry yet, but it doesn't matter. Just place them together and place this one over here. And if everything is correctly, you'll keep an open gap, which will be the opening of the mailbox. And you're going to give it some pressure over here. Place it up. Do it this one a little bit this way. And we're going to let this dry in for at least a couple of minutes. So you see, I give this a couple of minutes, so I place my placemat aside and I'm going to get my other mat. That's why I always use 2 mats. And for the other one, we're going to do now the back side of the little box. So for the back side, we have again 2 rows of 3, but in the length. And of course, we have 2 rows of 9. So 2 rows of 9 blocks and 2 of 3. And we are going to glue them on the top side, this one. And we do this one over here and we make 1 piece. We do here the same and over here, and we're going to glue them together. Just squeeze it and make sure that you connect them together, and also at the ending wipe away some glue from the tops, and we're going to let it rest. Now we go to the 2 rows of 9 and we do the smallest side, and we just easily row the blocks together like this. And of course, let me know in the comments if you are also enjoying little mailboxes. I'm really the last period, especially around the Christmas season, but also with now Valentine, I really love to make the little mailboxes in different ways. Of course, not always in the same way, but I made also one with Christmas, a dark green one. Letters 25. I really was happy with that one for the Christmas, but I don't know if you also made that one, but let me know in the comments. Of course, we're going to squeeze them, and at the ending always squeeze from the outside, and again we're going to wipe away the glue, and we're going to go back and always make sure that you have a nice straight line like this. And I'm going to let this dry in for a couple of minutes. So I gave it a couple of minutes. I'm going to turn this to, place it on the side, do some glue on the tops over here. Make sure that every block has a little bit of glue. Oh, you see already over here. We're going to place it down and we're going to place them together and fill in the open gaps, because you don't want open gaps, and that's why we only wait a couple of minutes to be sure that everything is nicely sticking together. So we're going to wipe away the glue and we're going to let this dry in. So I waited a couple of minutes. I'm going to place one of my blocks, at least when I get them off my table. So I'm going to glue some on the longest side. I'm going to do some glue over here, place it down over here, and we do here the same. Place it on the side, do some glue in a small line over here, and we're going to place this one down on the other side. So a little bit the same, but without the little opening for the mail. And again, we're going to squeeze it, press it together, and we're going to let this dry in for at least 20 minutes. So now we're going to make the sides and the bottom. And of course, I don't do mine too big, but you can make this as wide as you like, but I want to have a little bit of a smaller one, so I can place it anywhere, but not everyone likes a small one. So I have 8 pieces of 2, and I'm going to glue them this way together. Very easy. Just do some glue on the smallest side, and you just go this way and place them together, and then we're going to squeeze them together because they have to be one piece. So this is number 11 of number 7, number 8. So again, we're going to squeeze it, and you also can turn them around and squeeze. This squeeze a little bit better if you're going to easy turn them this way, and make sure that you have a nice straight line. And then you're going to give it a couple of minutes after you wiped away the glue. So again, like this, and I'm going to squeeze this one extra and this one. And I'm going to wipe away the glue and give it at least a couple of minutes. So I gave it a couple of minutes. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take 2 of them and I'm going to do some glue on the tops over here. Make sure that you have some glue on each side. And again, we're going to squeeze it together, wipe away. Oh, you see already, my little old towel is already almost finished. So he's not going with for a long time. So we have 1 of 2. Now we're going to get 3, 3, and 3. So very easy. We do some glue on this side, and we do on this side on the tops, and we're going to roll them together until one piece. And we do here the same. We do some glue on this side and on this side. And also here you roll them together until one piece. And we're going to wipe away the glue and we're going to let it rest for at least 15 minutes. So I'm going to place this 3 pieces over here and I'm going to get my back side of my little mailbox. And if everything is correctly, you have this back side. You're going to place it this way. What I'm going to do is very easy. I'm going to get the 2 piece. I'm going to do some glue on one side. And of course, I'm going to place this over here on the underside. And this way, we're going to give it a little bit of pressure. Feel with your fingers that you have it in a straight line on the underside. And this way. And of course, now we're going to get this one. We do some glue over here on the side. Over here. And we do some on the inside, a little bit. Because we have to glue it against here. So again, we place it over here. And we're going to make sure that everything is connecting gently together. Just take your time for this. And again, we do here the same. We do some glue on this side. Over here. And we do some glue on this side. On one side. And so we can place this straight up against here. And we're going to give it a little bit of pressure. And then we're going to work with it and connect it together. And if everything is correctly, you have a little overlay over here. And that's what I like, because I always love to give it a little bit more texture. And again, we're going to give it some squeezing. And if everything has the shape you like, then you can let it dry in for at least a half hour. So, and of course, before you're going to let it dry for at least 15 minutes, take a little small pencil like this and just wipe it wet and then go around the corners over here and on the sides and on here side to move away the glue, because with a towel everything moves around, and with a pencil it's easier just to go on the inside and on the outside, just very easy, just wipe away the glue so your piece stays nicely intact. So I did wait 15 minutes, and of course it's really not, at least when the wood glue is, it's not totally dry yet. You still have to be careful. I'm going to do some glue on the top side, you see here, on this side, over here and over here. And what we're going to do, we're going to glue now the top of the mailbox over here, and we're going to place it down over here, and make sure that you have this one also with a little overlay on each side. And you can see it over here. This has to be the same length like you have on the other side. So if you have it in place, then give it some pressure and give it some time to dry. Also again, 15 minutes. I will show it to you a little bit closer. See, this is what it's supposed to be. And also over here you have a little piece overlay. And now we're going to let this dry in for also 15 minutes. So now we have our piece, our little mailbox drying, but of course I want to have kind of a lid on top. We in the Netherlands call it a deksel. So it's a totally different word like you call it. So we call it deksel. So we have 8 blocks and we're going to place them flat on the table, and we make one simple row out of it, because I always like everything simple. And if you want to go crazy, you can decorate it any way you like, but I always give you simply the base. And again this way, and you're going to squeeze it like this, and at the end you squeeze the sides. Make sure that you go back for a straight line, or with your carpenter square, then you, like I told you, you don't have to do that. But I'm going to wipe away this glue and I'm going to let this dry. And now I'm going to go to my stash and I'm going to get my wooden letters. I have some thicker letters, but you can use some Scrabble letters. You can use any letters you like. You can even make them for your own from cardboard. And I'm going to go to find the words, the letters XOXO, but we will see. So you see, I have just some simple wooden letters and they are this thick, and I buy them in one big bag with the whole alphabet. So I'm going to use 2 X and 2 O's, and of course I'm going to place them aside with my little top. And you see later what we're going to do with it. First we're going to make, now the next step will be the stand where our little mailbox is standing on. Of course you can make it as high and wide as you like, but I just show you my way. So you see already 2 rows of 3, and of course I have 8 rows of 2, and I'm going to do them very simple. Again, you just do the smallest line again and you make a simple row out of it, and so you get a nice little square. And we're going to use them for in between. Of course, this one will be the stand. You just do 2 together, place them together this way, over here. And this one, and this is a very easy way to make a very sturdy little kind of a bowl from a wood. Of course, you can do it any way you like. You can also do a couple of blocks on top of each other. Then you also get a nice sturdy piece. Again, I'm going to turn them over, squeeze them, turn them over again, squeeze them over here, because we want to be sure that everything is gluing nicely together. Squeeze it, and again here the number 7 and the number 8, and also with the 3 piece, just make sure that you squeeze them real hard like this, so they stay nicely together. And I'm going to wipe away the glue and let this dry in for at least, I think, 15 minutes. We're going to place this 2 pieces of 3 we're going to place over here. We do 4 pieces over here, and we're going to use this 4 pieces. And everyone who is here already for a long time knows how I make little squares out of my double pieces. And we're going to give it some pressure. We do here the same. We do some glue over here, and we place this on the inside. So this one on the outside, this one on the inside, and now we do some glue on this side and a little on the inside of the block over here. And if we're going to turn it, everything is correct. You have everything nicely fitting to each other, and you can make a nice little square. And you're going to let this dry in, and then you're going to wipe away the glue. So I'm going to do this one. You just do some glue on the smallest line like this. You get another block, you place them against each other, you get another one of 2, do some glue on the side again, place them on the inside of this block, and now you do some glue on this side and on this side, and you turn it over and you place it over here, and then have each side have some glue, and again give it a little bit of pressure. Make sure that you have the shape you like, just work with it, and then going to let it dry in for at least a couple of minutes, and then you wipe away the glue. So I did wait a couple of minutes, and I'm going to do some glue on the inside of this block. So very easy, just go around and do it on the inside. We're going to get one of the pieces of 3, and we're going to easy turn it over and place it exactly in the middle. Just turn it around and look that you have it really in the middle, and then give it a little bit pressure from the top over here, and make sure that you have them nicely on top of each other this way. And you do here the same, just do some glue on the inside. So if everything, the glue is spilling, then it's going to the inside. Again, you turn it easy around and place it on in the middle. Over here, give it some pressure and turn it around, and look that you have it where you want to have it, and then let it dry in for at least also a couple of minutes. So I did wait a couple of minutes, and of course what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn one of them around on the top, so like this, like kind of a table. It's also a little table, so you can also make a cute little chairs, and you already have your little table with chairs. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do some glue on this one on the inside over here like this, and I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to place this one on top of here, also again in the middle, give it some pressure, look for where you want to have it, that you have it exactly in the middle. And we're going to give this also a little rest. And again, if there are some glue popping out, just very gently get your brush again, wipe it away, and very easy go around and make sure that you get a clean surface to work with. So again, like this, and we're going to, I can show it to you a little bit better. So this is how it's looking like. So we're going to let this rest. So in the meantime, while our little stand bowl is drying, we are going to do the bottom where he will stand on. This is 2 rows of 6, so 2 rows of 6. We're just going to do some glue on the smallest line again, and we row them very easy together. And of course also this underside you can do any way you like. I keep it simple so everyone can make it, but also it doesn't cost you a lot of blocks. So again, we're going to squeeze it like this, and we do here the same. We're going to squeeze it from the inside to the outside, and at the end you are going to give it some pressure. I'm going to wipe away the glue and let it dry in for a couple of minutes. So I did wait a couple of minutes. I'm going to turn them this way. I'm going to place one on the side. I'm going to do some glue over here, and we're going to place it down again, and we're going to make one piece out of it. And again, gently we're going to squeeze them together to be sure that we have a nice closed piece. And of course, and the gaps are away. And if there are still some gaps, because I have the same problem like a lot of you have, there are many blocks which are not fitting nicely. So always make sure that you have, and if you have open gaps which are not going away, just do some wood filler or maybe some speckle you call it. But we have here some wood filler, and just fill it in if you don't like it. I always love a little bit more of the rustic look, but that's not everyone's cup of tea. So just do whatever you think it's right. So I'm going to let this dry in also a couple of minutes. So in the meantime, while the bottom is drying, I place this aside. I'm going to get my mailbox. You see already, this is how he's turned out. And you see here the little overlay, and I'm really loving that he is sticking out a little, give some texture on your piece. I'm going to turn it over upside down. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to do some glue on this side over here, and I'm going to glue this on top of here. So again, some glue over here, and I make sure that I have enough. And of course I'm going to glue this exactly in the middle, and I'm going to give it some pressure, and we're going to let this dry in. But of course I do this because I make my mailbox probably in the white color to give it the white under color, and then I'm going to decorate it with pink and red. But if you like your mailbox in different colors, then paint this one first and then glue it together, and do your mailbox first in a color and maybe the bottom in a color, then glue it together, not right away. But I do mine in one color, at least the base will be in one color. So I'm going to give it some pressure, and I'm going to let this dry in. So I waited a couple of minutes. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do some glue on this top over here. Make sure that you go around and that you have enough glue, because you don't want that it falls off your stand. Of course, I have my stand this way with the blocks in the lengths, the long sides. So again, like this, I have it on my table, but you can turn it also, but I like this side better. I'm going to get my mailbox, and I'm being careful because this is still not totally dry. I'm keeping it in my hands, and I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to place this one also in the middle. And now I'm going to turn it around and going to look for if I have it really in the middle. And if I have the shape I like, I'm going to let this dry in also for at least an hour. So now we're going to do the last piece. Of course, now we have in totally our stand and our mailbox. We have, of course, the lid of our mailbox. We have the letters, the XO and the XO, but you can do love. You can do anything to decorate it. Of course, the last step what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a little small heart. So I have 7 blocks, and I place them on the longest side. So you see on the smallest side, and I have always a little bag laying around with half blocks. So once in a while I just measure out a couple of my blocks, I do them in half and I cut them in half. You can do that with in hand, so it's very easy to do, and some people even have a cutter to cut these smaller blocks. So I always have a little bag, so I also have 2 half blocks for this one. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get one I place here. I'm going to do a little glue over here, but not totally. I leave a piece over on the top. So I'm going to glue this together. I do here the same. Do some glue on the underside, not totally to the top. And I'm going to place this one exactly against the other one, like this. I do here the same. Leave a piece open, only the underside. And I'm going to place this over here. I do here the same. Of course, you can use this one that looks better this way. And I'm going to place this next to the other one over here. And now the last, this one over here, not too high, and this one over here, and also not too high. And I'm going to give it a little bit of pressure, like this. And now I'm going to get my half blocks, and I can do them in totally over here. And place it halfway the last block. And I do here the same. Some glue. And I place this also halfway this last block. And try to get it on the same length like the other one. Over here. And I'm going to let this dry in. So you see already, now I have all the pieces of my mailbox for Valentine. And like I told you in the start, of course, you can use it for also the Easter to get some mail to the bunnies. It doesn't matter, you can do it anyway. Of course, I have here my top of my mailbox, and of course the mailbox. I have here my little heart, and how easy is it to make a simple wooden heart just from a couple of blocks and you're ready fit to go. I have here my 2 X and 2 O's, and I'm going to paint all of them, and I'm going to use the colors red and white, and of course from one of them I will make for red and white. I'm going to make also pink. So I'm going to have my piece of kitchen towel, and I'm going to start with my white because I'm going to do my mailbox in the white color. So I'm going to do very easy. And I have a very simple and cheap brand white, but of course you can choose any color you like. And I always use a piece of paper kitchen towel because I can easily throw it away, but do whatever you think is right. So I'm going to start with my mailbox. So right now I have my mailbox in the white color. I'm going to get my red color. And I'm going to, you see already, I was already afraid of this. What I did shake it before I used it. And you see already, this is what happens also with DIY. That's, I could cut it out, but of course I don't, because this is also DIYing with clumsy like me. So I'm going to wipe away the red. Of course, I make one big mess from my tail, but it doesn't matter. At least the most important thing is that you know what you must do. So I'm going to do some red on top of here, and then I'm going to do the heart and 2 letters I'm going to do in the red color. So I have my red right now, and I'm going to make my heart, because he will be on top. I will make this also in the red color. And I'm so happy with how my heart is turned out, because I use it as a top of my mailbox. So I'm going to do it totally in the red color. And of course, like I told you, 2 letters. So you see, I have my heart, I have my 2 X's. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get another brush, and I'm going to get some red paint over here a little bit, and like this. And I'm going to do it with some white color, because I have some leftover over here, and I'm going to mix in, and I'm going to make my pink color. I don't do it really light. I like a little bit of the darker pink, But of course you can make it as light as you want. I use a little bit more over here. So I mix my own colors. That's the greatest thing. So you can choose for your own decor which colors you like. Maybe Sharon, you also like more the black and white. So you can choose other colors than we do. Most people do for Valentine. But I have also black and white and brown in my decor. But also sometimes little touches of red. So I think I'm going to leave it this way. So now I'm going to do only the 2 letter O, and I'm going to make them in the pink color. So you see I have my letters painted. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go for a little glue on this side of the X and on this side of the X. And then I'm going to place my letter O in here. And I'm going to do here the same. On both of the sides, I'm going to do some glue. Of course, if you have different letters, it's always a little bit different. But maybe you also can find the wooden letters that I have, because they are very common. So you can probably find them anywhere. And again, we're going to place this one over here, and then we're closing it up with this letter O. So again, make sure that you have a nice straight line. And we're going to let this dry in for at least also 15 till 20 minutes. So in the meantime, I take the top of my mailbox and I'm going to place it down. I'm going to get my heart. I'm going to do some little glue on the underside, on the first piece I have. And I place this one in the middle. Of course, I have to look where I want to have it. And I'm going to place it down. And I give it a little bit of pressure. Of course, you don't have to wait together with me. So I'm going to let it stand and let it dry on its own. So the only thing we still need to do, you are a little bit close. And you don't see anything what I do. So I'm going to get my mailbox. I'm going to place it down and I'm going to do the letters XO and XO. I will glue on top of here. And maybe I have some black, simple wooden letters. They are really thin, you see already, like this. Maybe I'm going to place mail over here. I have to look if I like it or not, so we will see. But you can decorate it any way you like, because this is just my idea. You don't have to do anything I do, so just figure it out what you like, because I don't know which decor you have. So I hope you give it your own twist on it. Of course, you see in a moment the quick impression. So I just showed you also a little bit how I decorated. I don't know if you are interested in it, but of course you see right now really the quick impression.